3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? What is going on? Welcome back to the Scoreboard podcast. I am your host, Brandon Medina. We are here, as always, with your athletic director, Mr. Peter Wagner. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Wagner, how are we doing, sir?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. We gave away a lot of turkeys yesterday to a lot of employees.
It was pretty awesome.
It's pretty great. A lot of employees. Turkeys are expensive this year. And a lot of employees will be leaving very much full and happy to have a turkey for the holidays. How do you cook your turkey? That's a very specific question, because if you cook it wrong, we could just end the podcast.
Well, then I guess you're going to have to end up, because I don't cook a turkey.
Oh, okay. Who cooks the turkey?
My wife cooks the turkey sometimes, or depends on where we end up. We usually end up at our in-laws or my parents' house. And
so Amanda Wagner cooks the turkey. My favorite Wagner. Love it. Awesome.
Yes. Yep.
The best principal in all the land.
My favorite Wagner as well.
That's absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we had a turkey giveaway. We had a lot of athletes show up, district representatives show up, and it was a
huge shout out to Coach Bruce, Coach Bocanegra, Coach Franco, Coach Alvarez, and all those who got those athletes out there. Our basketball coaches, our football coaches. We had track kids. I know I was at Legacy, and we had just about every sport represented. We had middle school kids out there. It was pretty awesome. They got to get out there and thank them. They got to get out there, and heck, it would have been pretty interesting. We gave out, I know at Legacy, we're somewhere around 700-800 turkeys and everything. Then we had to get them out the truck, get them off the pallet, and bag them and everything. We had a heck of an assembly line going. So big thanks to the kids who came. Some of them came. You know, you had football players that came right after practice and were heading to basketball practice. You had a whole bunch of them coming after practice. You had some of them on their day off coming up to help. So huge shout-out to the athletes, huge shout-out to the coaches, and everybody who was involved in a big-time great event.
Yeah, well, and here at Southwest ISD, we focus so much on community, and you look at the event. It was on a Tuesday. There isn't any class that day. And so
I do hope you went out and voted.
So, so a lot of students were able to come out on a day that they don't even have school. It was just really, really cool to see. But a big shout-out to our education foundation who funded the giving away of those turkeys. We're hoping to make that possibly an annual thing, so we'll see what happens. But every employee was able to grab.
I did see my favorite Medina too.
You did see.
I did.
My
Medina. Two favorite Medinas.
Yeah. My daughter and mom were out there. And then that heat eventually got to my daughter, and they're like, "Let's get us."
It was pretty awesome. Your mom and I make fun of you. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much normal.
This is a normal thing. Yeah, absolutely. But going into the sports, this is a sports show, in case you didn't know.
Not the Brandon Medina show.
Yeah, going into a sports podcast now with Scoreboard. Let's talk a little bit about, we had some scrimmages, man, for basketball. What is that looking like? What are kind of your expectations?
So let's talk. The boys teams are scrimmaging this week. They scrimmage tonight at Legacy, and look forward to seeing some of that tonight. But on the girls' side, the both the Titans and the Lady Dragons got dubs over the weekend to open up the season. The Dragons beat Wimberley in a close one, and the Titans blew out Marion on Saturday. And so great starts to the girls' basketball seasons. The boys start this week on Friday and Saturday. Looking forward to heading into the winter season now. We're closing up, see what the Dragons do this week, and they're our last real fall thing going on, and then off to the winter.
It's going to be a fun one, man. It literally is. Basketball season is now full steam ahead. You have not only the expectations for, like we talked about in the beginning, that Southwest from last week and the weeks before, the Southwest, you're kind of expecting them to take a step forward.
A big step.
They had a very young team the last 2 years that now is starting to become a little bit more veteran-led. Same thing with Legacy. We're expecting a big step. And this is also the season where just in a few weeks, we'll have soccer kicking off as well. obviously we saw it last year. We talked last year. There was 2 big stories last year. It was Anthony Zapata, who we will have in studio, and then we had a lot of soccer talk for Southwest,
and then a little bit of polo.
And a lot of polo.
Polo.
But
those are the stories of the year.
Those are the stories of 2022.
And Anthony's on round 2.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, and not just Anthony. Everyone's in the family.
Yeah,
man.
we got the whole family here today.
Whole family here today. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation. And so we are excited for that one. That's going to be coming up here just in a bit. But that's going to be our talk for basketball. We are excited to talk more about some of those competitive games coming up. And then when it comes to our Titan Warrior points, you mentioned we have some shout outs, man.
Yeah, we got we just finished our first grading period and things like that. So big shout out to all of our kids who chose to go the extra mile, meet our standard of service, of academics, and of growth, interpersonal growth, and things like that. So we'll be celebrating those this week. We got the high school kids. We had about 150 at each high school that are going to be coming to the pool for a pool party, and then each of our middle schools will be eating some canes, and we're celebrating making good choices, and really trying to go the extra mile. And it's not just about sports, but we use sports to teach those skills that are going to help them in the infinite game of life. Yeah.
Now remind me, Coach, how long has this Warrior program kind of been established?
So this has been 7 years that we've been doing it with everybody. And so we've given out, and when we got that award, we figured we've given out over close to $70,000 in scholarships.
That's awesome.
from the Warrior program between the 2 high schools. And but it's more about, like, you're talking about 6 kids between the 2 high schools, but the idea of the Warrior program is that everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And you could see that yesterday at the Turkey. We had 117 kids between all 6 middle schools and high schools and everything that came out to help hand out turkeys and things like that. This week, we got another group of kids that are going to the I Play Soccer tournament to help out the soccer people at SA Sports run off a soccer tournament. We got all kinds of stuff going on. And then we had pump, pass, and kick last week at Fire and Armor.
Yeah.
That was awesome as well. And we had a bunch of kids serving in that. So it's all about serving our community.
And so do you think it's grown pretty quickly over the last 7 years as far as the involvement, or do you think it was from the gate pretty much involved throughout?
It's definitely grown. Got to give a lot of credit to Coach Sandy Hernandez for helping out and kind of seeing what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
And then really it's our coaches. Our coaches do a lot of the work, and we say you coach you coach your sport, but similarly we want them to coach the Warrior program in terms of what we do as a team. We're a team of transformational leaders working to coach our kids' inner coach. And so we use the Warrior program to do that and do it in different ways. So it's grown, and we always look to how do we inspire our kids to continue to really do those things, to be better students, to be in service of others, and to grow as a person themselves as they move through life.
Yes, sir. We love it, man. We love supporting that, and it's a great program to be a part of and to watch kind of grow on this side. So with that, we have Anthony and Annabella Zapata in studio. Before we get to them, big football game on Friday. Playoff are here, right? We're in the playoffs now. You have Southwest Dragons battling against Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial over at Dragon Stadium. What are your expectations? Because that's definitely a tough team to go against in the first round.
So this is our 3rd time meeting them.
Yep.
We met them first time. The Dragons met them. This is like our 5th time meeting them because Legacy's played them once or twice too. We met them on the day after Christmas in COVID. We met them in the Alamo Dome a couple years ago.
Coach got the receipts
and stuff. What's that?
You got the receipts. He knows the days.
And so this one coming up, it'll be an interesting night. It made a little bit of rain in the forecast. It's going to get a little colder and stuff like that. But they're a tough team. In talking to Coach Franco, they got a 6'6" quarterback that can sling it.
Gosh.
They got a D1 receiver. They've played well against Miller and those guys. They're very well coached. Not quite as explosive as they've been in the past, but that's not really saying a lot.
That is Southwest's MO, though, is that
Yes,
explosivity.
and that's the difference between Southwest this year and in the past is, you look at the Fire and Armor Bowl that we haven't even talked about, but, I think Timothy Alagi threw like 26, 27 passes almost for 2-3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. You had Z Voss, as usual, who's becoming one of the names we talk about a lot on this podcast as well. But he had 7 catches, over 170 yards, I think it was, something like that, and 2 touchdowns. Got a game ball this week in the Express News. There's a lot going on there that it's going to – when they win, they have the explosive plays.
Yeah.
When they struggle, it's because they're not getting the explosive plays because they have struggled controlling the clock, which is a little bit different than the other 16, 17 years.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you talk about the Fire and Armor Bowl. The implications there obviously were a little bit different, but I mean, Southwest goes in there, was pretty dominant throughout. I believe that series is tied now at 3-3.
Tied. It is tied 3-3, and that was the first time the home team won a game.
Yeah, you're right. So finally, a little bit of a home field advantage, hopefully for the next year, and then we raised a ton of canned goods. If you want to speak on that as well.
The community really came together, raised over 10,000 cans of food for people in need in our community. That goes to our SWISD food pantry. Great job, Legacy really took it to them this time with getting them in. But a big shout out to Mr. Riojas at Indian Creek because they turned in over 2,100 cans of food.
That's awesome.
Did a great job there. So big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to everybody in the community with coming together in service for our community.
Sure. Well, the next portion of this show, we want to get
huge shout out. Don't forget, the Dragon swim team got a dub this year.
They
this
did
week
a dub. Big
in
meet.
the Fire and Armor on Water swim meet.
Originally, you had said on ice.
That's what Reading told me. I was like, what are we, Disney?
Yeah, this is.
I was like, calm down. So no, the Dragons had a heck of a meet. Got to celebrate them that they won the meet on. I think they played that on Thursday. They swam that on Thursday. Had a bunch of teams there, and they came out with the dub.
That's awesome, man. With Dragon Swim, congratulations.
Continued growth on both of them, Titans and Dragons, in terms of our aquatics program.
Yep, and the aquatics program is only going to get better with that incredible aquatics center here at Southwest ISD. However, we are going to switch kind of gears a little bit, and we want to do something we don't get to do a lot here on the podcast, and that's going to be able to truly sit down with 2 very special athletes here at Southwest ISD. And so we have brother and sister in the studio today. Very important athletes to not only Legacy High School, but Southwest ISD, and are constantly setting records and setting the pace for things. We have Anthony and Annabella Zapata. Anthony, how does it feel? Like you say your mom listens to the show a lot to tell you guys.
That's why I told him to come on, because his mom told me all about it.
We support
we're out in the community. Let's go, man.
Yeah, man. So talk to us about kind of what you've heard us talk about. How does it feel to kind of be constantly mentioned on the podcast and constantly, getting praise for you and your sister?
Oh man, it feels good. It's like she's just always watching it, and then she's always showing me like, hey, like they talked about your race last week, or like I know a lot. Last year y'all were talking about me a lot, and she was showing me about like what y'all were saying about me, about how good I was doing and the track meets and stuff, and then in the summer, and then like this fall when y'all were talking about me in cross country. So yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question for Anthony, because I heard Coach Arguello told me this story at the regional meet. Y'all were running, you're running with the King guy and stuff like that, and the dude from Rouse and everything, and y'all were up in the front. There was that like 4 or 5 pack, and that dude from Rouse just kind of looked at you guys and was like, all right, boys, you ready? Here we go, and stuff. Tell me about that a little bit, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so in the beginning of the race, it was already like us 4. It was me, the guy from Rouse, and then the 2 guys from Corpus. So then once we hit the second mile, that's when the guy from Corpus, that's when he told me, he was like, hey, let's move up and try to catch the guy from Rouse. And then we caught up to him, and then we were leading for a little bit, and that's when the guy from Rouse took off. And then we were just like trying to stay with them. So that's when he took off with him, and I just stayed conservative, like right behind him. And that's pretty much what happened.
So y'all having a nice little conversation in the middle of the race. Does that happen a lot?
It does, actually, yeah. Especially in meets like that where it's like more how do I say it, like
Competitive.
yeah, more competitive. Yeah, like you'll get like a conversation or two during the race. So
Yeah, and so Anthony, looking at kind of the accomplishments that you've had, when we talk about you, it is very rare to get anybody to state. It's very rare to go and compete in state. You've done it now, and you've been there. What is kind of your personal goal for this year in athletics and moving forward, for watching your sister and kind of supporting the team as well?
yeah, so my goal for this year is to break my records that I set last year for track, because I already beat my cross country time this year, and my main goal right now is to get a medal at state in track for the 800, and if it happens, possibly the mile too. So that's pretty much my goals for right now.
And we have Annabella Zapata here as well, and so 2 district champs. Talk to me a little bit, Annabella. Is this just a family thing? Are all you guys runners? Is mom and dad runners too, or how did both of you guys get involved in this?
Well, it was actually me at first in middle school, because Anthony never liked cross country. I actually pushed him to do cross country.
Oh, wow.
He would have never done it. And it's actually nobody in my family was a runner. So it's a little surprising that me and Anthony are good. Yeah. I mean, I did have a lot of training. I did start at one point from being really bad, and I did work my way up to being as good as I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping that I can improve more as the years go on.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, Anthony, what sports were interesting you before cross country? What sports missed out on the Anthony Zapata experience?
Man, I was in basketball for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing basketball 8th grade, 9th grade, and then my sophomore year, and then from sophomore year, that's where I quit, and then I just focused more on track and cross country.
Nice. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Coach Bruce is over there man, we could really use a punt return, kick return, Anthony just take off if anything. But that's awesome.
When he was, we were making him the honorary captain the other day. They were thinking about bringing him a jersey and some and some pants and some cleats and throwing him the ball a little bit and stuff like that. Anthony, can you tell us? I know you got some offers and some big schools, and we were talking about that at the state meet a little bit. And tell us kind of some of those schools that have talked to you. Things that you're considering and things like that.
Well, yeah. So right now I have the University of Houston, UIW, UTSA, and then I've also had Lamar University reach out to me, and then the University of Rio Grande Valley reach out to me too. But yeah, right now I'm gonna make a visit to UTSA probably next week, and then UIW and University of Houston, they both really want me, but I'm still deciding, because it's just a lot of pros and cons that go into both of them. So I just needed some time to decide.
And I remember talking to your parents and when you went to Houston, you got to meet a pretty important person, Carl Lewis, the head coach there, who's also one of the greatest Olympians in the United States history. Yeah. What was that like, meeting Carl Lewis? Did you know who he was?
Yeah, I knew who he was. Yeah.
How'd that go?
So he just came out of nowhere, because I was taking my pictures there, and then that's when he just came out of nowhere. And my mom was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, that's Carl Lewis. He was a 9-time Olympian. He was back-to-back winning." And she didn't know who she was. She had to search him up, but I already knew who he was, and it was pretty crazy meeting him.
Wow, that's nuts, man. So Annabella, what are your goals now, looking kind of at Anthony making these moves? Obviously, you said you pushed him to get into it. You set that pace for the family, and now you all are here. District champs is one thing, right? You're looking at state. What are your kind of personal goals?
My personal goals is I hope that I get to PR and reach a good time. Yeah. Because this year I was really trying to break 20, but I didn't. So I'm hoping that next year I'll be in the beginning, in low 19s. Mm-hmm. And I hope in track too that I can make it to regionals and do good with that too, with long distance. And yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
2 questions for you guys, for each of you really. But one, maybe there's some middle schoolers listening right now, or some young ones. What are some advice you would give them? And then 2, obviously you don't get here with a lot of help and a lot of encouragement and things like that. So who are some people you might want to thank as well? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So for the middle schoolers, just keep it pushing. Just have fun with it. Don't stress about it. I know the main thing about me, I'm really, really competitive. So throughout the years, if like someone was faster than me or something, it would really mess me up. And like I always had that competitive nature. So like, if you're barely starting, just have fun. Middle school's not really that competitive with like the races and stuff. So just have fun and just enjoy the sport, And yeah, I just want to also thank my parents and my friends, especially my dad. I know my sister said no one was in the family, but my dad did. He almost went to state in middle school in 8th grade for the 800. So he was kind of like a mid-distance runner like me.
Gotcha.
So that's basically where I got it from. And then yeah, my mom too. She just basically helped me out throughout the whole process. Buying me shoes, giving me what I need, clothes, and all that stuff. So I just want to really thank them and also my friends too. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Annabella? What about any advice for middle schoolers and anybody you want to thank?
Just never give up and push yourself to any limit that you can push yourself to. I know that when I was in middle school, I never expected to be a runner. I never wanted to be one.
Mm-hmm.
I never like thought of myself as good to be one. But I never gave up, and I always like tried and pushed myself and trained. And that brought me to somewhere good. So yeah, I just don't give up. Never give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
And anybody that you want to thank for like kind of getting you guys to where you are now?
I want to thank my family for really helping me and for like motivating me to be as good.
Yeah.
And to like always work out with Anthony, because it really helped me working out with Anthony.
So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not an avid runner, unfortunately. A lot of people talk about though their love for running and kind of being able to kind of escape and get in this headspace where they really enjoy it. To some people that makes sense. To a lot of people though, I think they look at running and they're like, why would you want to like just go do that just to do it, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about what headspace and how running has helped you or kind of got you away from things or lets you focus on things, or what makes running fun for you all, not only in the competitive space.
Yeah, so like, I would be stressed from school or like, something would happen at my house and like, I just go for a run and it's just all gone. Like running really does like clear my headspace a lot. Like if I really had like a lot of problems like throughout the week, I go out for a run, 10, 15-minute run, and in my mind like it's gone. Like cuz like running I really like running from that.
Just know Brandon would be dead if he ran for 15 minutes to get in a headspace. He gets tired running to the parking lot.
Yeah. What about you, Annabella? Anything as far as why do you enjoy running that maybe you can kind of speak to for people who maybe don't know about it or don't enjoy running as much?
Yeah, well, running has honestly been very like relaxing for me. Like especially running long, like 6-7 miles. It's been really like relaxing. Yeah, I go on the weekends.
That sounds very relaxed. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, I like going to the park and just looking at the nature, and
Right.
it's like very calming for me.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
All right, let's make fun of Coach Arguello real quick and Coach Hallmark. So what's the best, each of you get one saying or story that best describes that, how much they helped you, but just something funny, whatever sticks in your mind when you talk about your coaches a little bit. And then Anthony and both of you, the second question I have for you is, how much did running club, I know you ran a little bit of club and stuff like that, how did that help too? So two very different questions, but I want to make sure Coach Arguello, we hear a little bit about that relationship a little bit and stuff, because I know he's real proud of you guys.
Yeah.
And so is Coach Hallmark. So talk to us about that and a little bit about club.
Yeah, so our Coach Arguello, he really, really works as hard. Especially, like, we'll be doing, like, easy workouts throughout the season. And, bam, right when state hits, it's just straight hard workouts. I think this year kind of cooled down because I think I'm more in shape than I was last year. But I know last year, like, after the workout, I was, like, throwing myself on the floor, like, out of breath. But, yeah, he's a good coach. And then Coach Harmar, too. Yeah, she's a really, really good coach. And, yeah, about club, last year, it was pretty good. I made it to Junior Olympics again, but I didn't really go because I wanted to focus more on cross country this year, which was a good decision because I got a medal at state. But, yeah, and the year before that, I really wanted to join AAU, and I really liked it. But this year, I don't think I'm going to join again because I'll probably be focusing on college if I commit to a college this year. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Gotcha. And what about you, Annabella? Any coach stories or anything to talk about to kind of explain that relationship?
Coaches' workouts, yeah, they really helped me with my running, and they are really good coaches. And yeah, I don't really have any.
What about the club? The club talk about
that really helped me with my sprinting, like really fast.
For speed.
It really helped me with my pace and running more faster. I really feel like that helped me be more better with my times.
Yeah.
And my ending, when I finished the race at the end, I sprint more and I have more longer strides because we did do lots of sprinting workouts.
Yeah.
So that really helped.
And so we kind of got to hear a little bit about Anthony, visiting some very big colleges. For you, having one more year left, are you kind of is there a competitiveness within the family where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get offers from better colleges. I want to be just as good, if not better, and continue to kind of keep that competition.
Not right now. No. I haven't looked into any of that yet. I'm just more focused on my grades in school.
Good. Like yes. That. And so talk to us a little bit about the support from the school. That's a great kind of transition. The teachers and the staff that have supported you all. I know, Anthony, you've gotten, even at some of the pep rallies, they bring you out there to make sure you get your love and stuff like that. Talk to us about the support that Legacy has shown towards you all, because sometimes I know it can feel as if sports like cross country kind of go unnoticed in a busy season like this. What does that feel like at Legacy with all that support?
Oh man, this year was crazy. I did not expect to, like, when they did the ceremony for me, the walkout, I did not expect all those people to be out there and like cheer for me. Like, it was honestly a surreal moment. And then like they mention me all the time. Like, it just feels all surreal. Like, I did not expect, like, middle school me or elementary me did not expect like high school me to be like this. Like, it's been real crazy this year.
Yeah, the teachers have been really supportive.
Yeah,
They've always asked me about running, like, how's your brother doing? How are you doing? They're like really supportive with the cross country.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's been really good.
That's awesome. Well, we're extremely proud of you all. We really do talk a lot about the Zapata family here on this podcast, and so it only made sense to get you guys on. Moving forward, Anthony, are you excited for graduation and what's next in life for you?
Yes, I'm very excited. I really want to run in college already. Seeing all the people doing good right now, and then like all the workouts that I'm gonna be doing, like I'm really excited to move on to that next level.
Yeah.
We still got track season. Calm down.
Yeah. We still got track season.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so with that, we want to thank you guys. Any last words, Annabella, Anthony, for your family, for listeners, for friends, anybody that might be tuning in?
Just thank you guys for all the support y'all have given me and my sister throughout the year, and we would not have done it without you guys. So
really thank you, because I really feel like I couldn't have been as mentally strong as I am now if I didn't have my family and friends' support.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Again, I am Brandon Medina. That is Peter Wagner. That is Anthony and Annabella Zapata. We appreciate you tuning in. This is Scoreboard. Continue listening. Again, big playoff game on Friday for the Dragons. We have more track season to talk about, more Anthony and Annabella to get into, I'm sure, into the spring. But we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. You can find us everywhere you can find podcasts: Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, everything. Check us out and share. We appreciate you tuning in. Until next time. We are
Southwest.
1.